Good afternoon, everyone. I am the next reporter of the Group 2, Set 2. So my topic is all about the Tagbanua Art and the Mangyan Art. So first is the Tagbanua Art. One of the oldest tribes in the Philippines, can be mainly found in the central and northern Palawan. Tagbanua is a contraction of the words Taga, which means inhabitant, and Banwa, which refers to village or town. The Tagbanua of Palawan carve wooden figures of different kinds of birds and animals that have religious symbolism, because these are used in their rituals. The birds in Tagbanua mythology serve as messengers that link the many levels of their heaven. The pig and the wild boar serve as sacrificial offerings. The image of an animal shown here is an example of the simple but symbolic art of the Tagbanua ethnic group. The next is the art of Tagbanua. Tagbanua clothing, especially the salubin, was traditionally made from tree bark. This bark has never been prepared like this before. After a tree has been chopped down, its bark is pulled back to reveal its inner layer. The layer is beaten with a mallet until it becomes pliable and may be hung from the bowl. This is cleaned in the sun and dried. Men traditionally wore nothing but a loincloth held in place by a braided rattan belt known as ambalad, and women wore only short bark wraparound skirts. Eventually, the Tagbanua start wearing attire inspired by Islam. Many modern-day Tagbanua still dress in traditional garb, but Western styles of clothes have also become popular. Men and women alike used to wear their hair long, blacken their teeth, and use bantilinaw, hardwood to carve earplugs. Combs and bracelets were also carved from wood by the Tagbanua. Women's heads were kept covered with necklaces made of strong beads. Women also fashioned and wore anklets made of wire, made of copper and brass. Women of Tagbanua culture are easily recognizable by the brilliantly colored clothing and body jewelry they wear. Some of the older men wear G-strings for extra comfort while tilling the field or fishing, but otherwise they dress precisely like the non-tribe lowlanders. The next is the craft of Tagbanua. In modern times, Tagbanua artistic crafts have become known mostly for their baskets and wood carvings. Their prowess in decorating their tingkup is unparalleled, or the harvest basket. The contrast between the blackened bamboo and the natural bamboo in this basket is what really makes the patterns stand out. Cone-shaped baskets are another excellent examples of the Tagbanua people's artistic prowess. Cone-shaped bamboo strips are carved down at the cone's center to create uniformly sized colors for create uniformly sized holes for a screen that features designs in black and natural colors. The bamboo strips are woven more closely together near the top to create a funnel shape. So, the bayong-bayong or soft rice baskets come in a variety of interesting forms. They are square at the bottom and round at the top. The simple bori sides were layered with colorful bori to form the eye-catching black and V forms. The Tagbanua baskets is fashioned with the colored palm leaves. Some of the most recognizable pieces of the Tagbanua wood carving or the sculpture are blackened depictions of animals with a little edge or incise details that reveal the wood's natural white grain. Among the carved artifacts are roosters, the mamanak, turtles or the kiruman, native birds or the kararaga, small ground animals or the dukyan, lizards, and even wild pigs. In Pagdiwata rites, carved animals are utilized along rice, betel nuts, nut, and other sacrifices to entice the deity and the spirit relatives. In a dish used in Ming commerce, for instance, turtles float over palay grains. Those that are put to use at ceremonies are often repurposed into platings for kids. The next is the Mangyan Art. On September 2012, the Mangyan tribe has been included in the history of Mindoro. Spaniards have long documented the life of the Mangyan people. However, much is still to be learned from the culture of one of the Philippines' richest ethnic group. The Hanunus of Mindoro, also known as Mangyans, still use the ancient syllabary consisting 48 characters, shown in the picture of the bamboo cylinder. The Hanunus carved their writings on bamboo lime holder, bulus or the bulus, scabbards, bamboo house beams, and on musical instruments, and bows. Musically inclined, the Hanunus make guitar and bowstring instruments from wood using human hair for strings. The Mangyan are an ethnic group primarily located in Mindoro Island, while they can also be found on Tablas and Sibuyan in the province of Romblon, as well as in the islands of Albay, Negros, and Palawan. Mangyan is a generic term for a male and or female human being of any country. Researchers in social sciences have classified the Mangyan people into distinct groups. Location-based distinctions can be made among them. The Araya, Alangan, and Tadyawan peoples are considered to be part of the northern tribes, whereas the Buhid, Bangon, Batangon, and Hanunu Mangyan peoples are considered to be part of the southern tribes. The next is the culture. Mangyans are often lumped together as a single tribe, yet there is significant diversity among them. The southern tribes are more technologically evolved than the northern ones, as seen by the weaving, pottery, and writing system they utilize. The lifestyles of the tribes in the north, on the other hand, are more primitive. Their language, like that of the rest of the Philippines, is part of the Austronesians family of tongues. But even if they are lumped together as a single ethnicity, the tribes spoke a variety of dialects. On average, only about 40% of words in each language's vocabularies are shared. In terms of morphological and ethnogenetic characteristics, the tribes are diverse. The area are Vedoid, the Tagyawan are primarily Mongoloid, and the Hanuno resemble Proto-Malayan people. When they first arrived in the Philippines is another point of contention among the many indigenous groups there. It is theorized that the southern tribes had settled the area by the year 900 AD, while their northern counterparts arrived many centuries earlier. When they first arrived in Spain in the 16th century, they were recorded by the government. Historians, on the other hand, believe that the Mangyans were among the first Filipinos to engage in trade with the Chinese. But aside from the language and tribal characteristics that may suggest the tribes can be addressed individually, not much ethnographic study has been done. Mangyan cultures were much more peaceful than those of the hunting peoples of northern Luzon and courageous defiant warriors of southern Luzon. When they encounter lowland settlers, missionaries, traders, or government official, they take a position of peaceful submissiveness. The next is the arts. Mangyans have a wealth of artistic tradition that sheds light on pre-colonial Philippine history. The adage, art for art's sake, does not apply to indigenous peoples since, like in other indigenous communities, their art serves as a social function. The ambahan is a form of poetry that is chanted and recited, and it has a rhythmic meter of 7 syllables. The Arukay is a form of this language that uses 8 syllables instead. There are no known poets in the Mangyan culture, and if you were to ask a Mangyan where he got the lines of the poetry, he might respond that he read and copied them from the bamboo shoots. So, as you can see, are some examples of the poetry. The next is the pakudus. On the other hand, is a Mangyan design that is distinguished by its streamlined symmetry. Equal emphasis on vertical and horizontal composition and aesthetically pleasant use of line and space. The Mangyan script is based on the syllables of Filipino phonetics. Baybayin, the more widely used system of writing among Filipinos, was abandoned with the arrival of the Spaniards. Mangyan scripts included to UNESCO's Memory of the World record. The men of the tribe, like many other indigenous peoples around the world, they face discrimination and brutality in their home country. Given the rapid pace of global change and the challenges faced by these communities, it is crucial that their way of life and cultural tradition be safeguarded in order to ensure that their basic needs are met and that they have a fair chance to realizing their full potential as human beings. So that's all. Thank you for listening.